Hi, I'm Ellen Heed, founder of STREAM. STREAM stands for Scar Tissue Remediation, Education, and Management. I believe that scar tissue is the unacknowledged cause of way too much human suffering. So I developed STREAM to advance professional training for healthcare practitioners. STREAM gives providers of all stripes the tools they need to effectively address scar tissue, both emotional and physical. When unacknowledged scars no longer hold us back, there's no stopping us. So what are the results of STREAM? What I see is a genuine amplification of human potential and a behavioral bias towards manifestation. And I'm so proud of the work that STREAM graduates are doing that I made this video series to highlight their accomplishments. This series of videos features the work of scar tissue specialist Andy Stout. A trans man, Andy specializes in all kinds of scar work, but has a special interest in scars resulting from gender affirmation surgeries. Andy serves his clients and community in Oakland, California at Azure Skies Chiropractic. This clip is called When Andy Discovered STREAM. And in the clip, Andy and I talk about the existential importance of meaningful work. He describes how he had to let go of old ideas about work before embracing scar remediation as his chosen career and way of life. Andy spent years searching for work that he found satisfying, including that of being a body worker for almost 30 years. And he found personal healing and full-time inspiration when he experimented with scar tissue in his own body. After completing the STREAM training, Andy became a scar remediation specialist. Andy notes that just about everyone with a body has some kind of injury, surgery, or trauma in need of resolution. Andy Stout is breaking new ground in the Bay Area by building a specialty practice based on scar tissue and its resolution, with a specialty focus in gender affirmation scars. Listen in. This is about you and your journey, your personal journey. When you started out, I love your language here. It's so good. You know, it's funny. I have there are 4 Texans involved out of 6 in this series.
Wow.
You, me, Rowan, and Jeannie. We are all Texas.
Crazy.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
And there's such a colorful use of language that goes along with that. Funny thing. Yeah. So when you started out, you had a commendable baby capitalist Texas Protestant work ethic. Could you explain what that means?
I was such a good little worker. So I started working as soon as I wanted wheels, most of all. So I started working as early as somebody would sign the form and let me. And I did that for some years. And yeah, it was part of my identity was, I'm a good worker. And then sometime, in high school, but then after high school, I understood better how I was playing into the whole capitalist plan and how do I really want to spend my life like that? Is that what I'm here on this planet for? And no, I was not down for that. And I was never excited about it. Even with the dogs, when I enjoyed my work, I did feel like surely I'm supposed to be doing more with myself than this. And so I'm so grateful that I stumbled on to you and what you do and how it changed my life and got me excited that I could learn how to do this has helped me find work that is meaningful. And I'm super pumped about it. Like I can geek out about scars at a pool party for the entirety.
That's awesome. I know it.
You meet people's chagrin, I'm sure.
Well, right, but you never know who's listening, and somebody who needs it who needs the work and needs the information might be there. They might hear about it, or they might know somebody. I mean, everybody with a body has an injury. Many people's bodies have surgeries. Many people with bodies have something that's neither an injury nor a surgery, yet still could benefit from getting their biomechanics and their internal adhesions sort of worked out, even though they may not be aware that that's what's driving their pain or limitation in range of motion. So you found scar tissue remediation. Was it an outgrowth of your interest in body work, or was it more based on some other experience?
Well, I had been a body worker. I've been a massage therapist since 95, and it never really took off as a business for me. I mean, it has over time. At certain times in my life, I would work at, chair massage places or like that. But it's not that I love doing massage, right? I'm good at it, and I have this intuitive sense of where to touch or an understanding that I don't even know how to harness. So yeah, I have done body work and I'm good at it, and that's been since the 90s. But what brought me to the work was I was doing sexological body work because I'm a sex educator since the 90s as well. And it just seemed like a natural thing for me to do, is to figure out how to incorporate sex education with body work. And so that's how I wound up at sexological bodywork training. And one afternoon in that training, we were talking about pelvic scar. And that's where I learned about you. And it was my pelvic scar that I had gotten when I was 6, a bladder surgery that had found my pelvis up with scar. And I never knew. I mean, there's so much that it's clear to me now, like, why is this hard or numb, or this part hurts whenever I do this or that? And I had never put that together with my bladder surgery scar. And so I learned about you in the class one afternoon, and then I was sort of messing around on YouTube, and I found a video of yours about how the cervix can get affixed by on the front of an abdomen, and I was like, oh, that's me.
You had a light bulb moment,
right?
Yeah.
And then I, went to my sweetheart at the time and said, can you do this thing to my cervix? And the whole thing takes less than 5 minutes, and my life changed. What I can do with my pelvis changed. What I like about sex changed. The lack of pain changed. Like, so much changed in 5 minutes that I was blown away and in love with the possibility. And that's when I was like, oh, sexological body work, that's neat, but it's not really what I'm good at. Like, it turns out it wasn't my calling, the sexological body work, but the scar part that I took from sexological body work helped me get to where I am now. And
for sure. Yeah.
I love it.
Fantastic. Well,
my body loves it.
Well, yes, there's many thank yous to be had for a body whose scars have been released and are no longer driving certain pain patterns that would make sex unavailable, or would make urination painful, or make walking or even certain abdominal exercises just completely out of reach because of the pain. I see this often in people who've had C-sections, or people who have had bladder surgeries, or people who've had even a gallbladder removal or an appendectomy. Those abdominal surgeries it's not the scar, it's not what you see on the skin, that 1 or 2, 3 inches. That's right. It's the grapefruit or basketball, or, large area, larger than anyone's imagination or ability to visualize, area that's affected under the skin, where all those little roots and tendrils of the scar are looking for some kind of bone or connective tissue to attach themselves to. In the meantime, cutting off blood flow or nerve flow or lymphatic drainage, and then affecting the health of all the tissues in the vicinity. So it's quite a big deal, actually.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you go, please.
What I see and what I remember from my scar before I began to understand my scar is that somebody can have a scar like on their lower abdomen from a bladder surgery or any of those things. That for me, it was like 40 years or 30 something years of, there's a place that's numb and thick, and I don't touch it or like anybody else to touch it. I'm not friends with this part of my body. And so that I could, come to this work, get this work for myself, and now incorporate that whole chunk of my body that was like,
that was sort of
for 30
offline.
some years was not that. Oh, we don't talk about that. We don't touch it. We don't think about it, and I can't feel it, and all of that. And now it's like, oh, look, I should have done that like decades ago, but I didn't know.
Well, neither did anybody else. Really. I mean,
Right.
I feel like I think I was the first person to coin the term scar tissue remediation as a phrase. And because nobody knew what I was talking about. And like, scar tissue, you know what that is? Yeah, we know what that is. Remediation. What do you mean? Remediation. Remediate what? Remediate your scar tissue. How do you do
Right.
that? Well, let me show you how to do. Let me tell you how to.
Yeah.
Let me do it for you until you can do it on your own. Is sort of how I started this work.